All right, so back for more. We are back here at video 8. We're getting through this pretty quick. Um, I've got a bunch of pieces cut out that we were talking about getting it cut out last time with video 7, and I just want to go over those with you guys real quick. First of all, all these little pieces in here, little L-shaped pieces, you need to know that these are this shape here. These are the L shapes. So these are a little bit tricky to cut out, but this does need to be cut out so that it will fit around that rafter. If you don't think it'll fit around that rafter, you will need to clean these up a little bit. So that looks like it's going to intersect right there in the corner. So I'm going to need to take and just sand that out a little bit. Best way to do that is to set this up on a sharp corner or a block. Let's see. Here. And then to either hit that edge or this edge, depending on what needs the attention. Okay. Again, I'm going to check it. I should be able to see that pencil line right in the corner. And that looks good. Okay. That one looks pretty good. All these look good. These are all ready to go. So we got those 4 blocks cut out. We cut out one of these together. I'm going to show you how I ended up cutting the rest of these out. I ended up taping them together, and I cut them out as a bundle. Okay. In construction, we call that gang cutting. So I gang cut the package or the kit, and now I've got all of them ready to go. I used the same tape that came with them that was holding them to do that, and you can check them. So if we put that up there and over here, we're pretty good to go. It's a little bit long on the tail, but really realistically that's not going to matter too much. I could adjust them all. But as long as the rest of it fits, if it fits good here and here, that's the most important thing. So those will work. Those are ready. I cut out the double top plates, which we're going to put on here in 2 seconds. And I actually went ahead and cut out the this large piece right here, which is the, and I cut them out together in a kit. You can see the bundle here. So I'm going to open up my bundle. I used some masking tape to do that. Definitely was the way to go. If you have some masking tape, it's faster to do them all together. So this piece is this angled piece that you don't quite see in the plans here. My angle, I ended up cutting it back a little further than the angle that I drew. But that's okay. The key is you want it to be underneath the line of the actual roof so that when you put roofing on here, it doesn't end up hitting it. And if it's a little bit shorter than the overall wall, that's okay too. But so that's what we're going for. There was 3 of these things that needed to be cut out. Okay. Of course, we had 2 sets of these. This little piece right here in the middle, there should have been at least one of these cut out. I cut out 2 of them because I might make a modification to make my project go together a little easier, which we'll look at here in just a minute. And we need at least 6 of these rafters. So let's bring the project, which has been drying, back into play here. Let's see what we can do about this. So the next step is not going to take us very long. It's putting these double top plates on here. My double top plates cut correctly? Let's find out. So this overlaps like that. Let's see if we can get a little wider. This one's going to overlap here. And this should fit in the middle if it was cut correctly. All right, looks like my plans worked successfully. It's a good feeling. Okay. So I need to get those glued on there before we can do the roof. Looks like I got a little bit of a bump or a lip right here that's stopping it from sitting tight, so I want to address that. I'm just going to take my sandpaper. I'm going to work that for a minute really carefully, trying not to damage my wall. See if that fits a little better now. Sure does. Okay. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna see if I can do a little bit more sanding on this. Oh no, I broke it. Let's go in just this direction. Too much stress. It's a delicate little wall. Okay, so that's okay. When we glue it all back together with the double top plates, it's going to reinforce all of it. So let me just get a good squirt of glue in there so we can fix that. Okay, I'm not going to edit it out. You guys can know that these things happen and there's got to be a way to fix them. Woodworkers are good problem solvers. They all know how to. That's what woodworking is. It's a series of puzzles. How do I solve this? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a bead of glue all the way around the top. This guy here. We're gonna stick these plates on here, move them around a little bit, make sure we get a good glue joint, squeeze that down. Really work that glue into it. So make sure you got your wet rag nearby to wipe off any of the glue squeeze out. Okay. Sure, everything's nice and lined up and even. Always check to make sure it's all even. Take your time, get things right, it'll all work itself out. It's rewarding. Okay. So I could just leave that there and that will dry, it'll work itself out, and eventually I can build on top of it. But if I can, I really want to try and clamp that down somehow. So if I put this clamp in here at an angle, I might be able to use that one. I'm going to come in here, an angle, I can squeeze that one in right there. I've got multiple clamps, so I'm going to use them. If you need to use multiple clamps, you can always do this in many different steps. You can get out your tape, which I love tape. Tape makes a great clamp sometimes. I'm going to rip this really wide piece in half. Pull down on this and wrap it around. So that acts as a good clamp. It actually squeezed out a little bit of glue. Okay, so now that this is drying, I've got to let that sit for about an hour before I can put the roof on it. But I wanted you guys to know what it is you got to do in order to be ready for the roof. So these pieces eventually are going to go on here, out this way. So I'll have to reorient this. These pieces are going to go across the ceiling. And obviously the clamp's in the way right now, but we'll have one of these for each set of joists. In fact, one of these is not going to be used this way. One of these is actually going to be set sideways. And then I'll show you how this goes together. And then this ridge piece here, this is going to be the tricky part. This ridge needs to be held in place here up as high as this centerpiece. Okay, so you may want to have an extra piece to glue on back here for the ridge to sit on, just to support it, since we don't have anything else holding this up. Okay, and then this is going to need to be cut. I'm probably going to want to cut this. You guys can see that. You focus down here. I don't know if the cameras can focus. Let's see. Camera's kind of. Oh. Let's zoom in down here. There we go. So we're probably going to want to cut this piece to be the same width as the floor itself, plus normally it overhangs in the front, and then you're going to put little things we call outlookers in there. So I would normally leave this as actually a good overhang. But I think for the sake of this assignment, it's going to be easier for you guys to line everything up if we go ahead and just cut this off at 4 inches. So basically even with the piece of plywood that you have, and we'll put it together that way. It'll be easier for this assignment. All right, we'll see you back here when the double top plates are dry.